We've made it past mid-year. How is my reading going so far? Well, let's chat. Hi, my name is Jeanette, and I want to thank you for joining me on the channel Jane Reads. So, I've seen a bunch of people do the mid-year book freakout tag. And then I've seen another video which was just the mid-year check-in tag. And I kind of like majority of the questions of the freakout tag the most, with a few questions from the check-in. So I'm going to do the freakout tag, and then I'm just going to add on the last couple questions that I liked from the other tag. That's what I'm going to do. I don't really like the freak out portion of it because I'm not freaking out about it. Not yet. I mean, maybe on one of my goals a little bit, but we'll get to that. Okay, so let's just start at the beginning. Question number 1 is the best book you've read so far. Now, you can't expect one book, right? No way. And can I include a reread book in this answer? Well, I'm going to. So, the best book that I have reread this year, which was a reread for me, is Aftermath by Terry Blackstock. Actually, now that I say that, there's two, but it is an answer for, the other one is the answer for the next question, so we're going to say it's this one for best reread. And that is Aftermath by Terry Blackstock. This is a romantic suspense, and it features bombing, and we're following Taylor, who was at the concert that was bombed, and then Dustin, who gets arrested for the bombing, but he's being framed. And so we're following both points of view and kind of seeing how the story evolves from that. I absolutely loved this story. Okay, so then book number 2 is, we've got a historical romance. This is Across the Blue by Carrie Turnasky. I don't know how to say her name. So I did a reading vlog on this book. I absolutely really enjoyed this book. It was such a fun read through. And yeah. Then we have The Blackout Book Club by Amy Lynn Green, and this one is another historical romance set in a small town in Maine, and we are following a librarian who forms a book club to kind of keep the library open. And it's told from multiple perspectives, and I really enjoyed following the different characters. And then my favorite part has to be the book club notes and reading kind of the sarcasm that was included in that. And yes, so another one. And then the last one is The Secret Keepers of Old Depot Grocery by Amanda Cox. This is a dual timeline book where we are following 3 generations of women through from 1960 to present day. And I love this book, and I will be talking about it a little bit later because it's an answer to another question. Okay, so then question number 2 is the best sequel you've read so far. Well, starting with a reread, In Too Deep by Lynn H. Blackburn. I love this whole series, but because the question is book 2, or best sequel, so 2 or later on, not book 1. So this is book 2, and I loved Adam and Sabrina and watching the relationship develop and then work together. And the whole team in this book, amazing. This is a series that I think you really need to read in order and read them back to back because that's the best way to read them. I love this series. It is another romantic suspense. Then the next one is The Crushing Depths by Danny Petrie. This is another romantic suspense. And while I wasn't a big fan of the main characters in this one in the relationship, I really enjoyed following the secondary characters and kind of getting to know them. And then book 3 follows up on the secondary characters in this one. And then the next one is On a Coastal Breeze by Suzanne Woods Fisher. This is book 2 in the Three Sisters Island series, and this is a contemporary romance. In this one, we are following Madison. She is the middle sister, and kind of we're just watching her career kind of develop, and reconnecting with somebody from her past who wasn't like it's a second chance story, but they were not in a relationship before. It was kind of an enemies to lover type story, I guess. Yeah, so another really fun one, and it's set in Maine, and just, it's beautiful. Okay, so question number 3 is a new release that you still want to read. Under Fire by Lynn H. Blackburn. This just came out in March, and this is part of her new series. This is book 3, so I still need to read books 1 and 2 as well, but yeah. Okay, and then question number 4 is your most anticipated book for the second half of the year. Well, there's a few, but kind of the one that's at my top, I think, is The Legacy of Longdale Manor by Carrie Ternaski. Again, I think that's how you say her name, not 100% sure. This is a historical romance set in England, and I've just really enjoyed Carrie's books, and I love a setting of England, so yeah. Okay, then question number 5 is the biggest surprise for me. Well, that was definitely this book, Over My Dead Body by Sandra Orchard. This is book number 3 of her Serena Jones mystery series. So we are following Serena Jones, who is an art theft agent, an FBI special agent in the art department. And in books 1 and 2, we are following her back in her hometown. And then in book 3, they go to Martha's Vineyard. Her and her family go to Martha's Vineyard to visit a family friend, and turns out that family friend has died. And was he murdered, or was it an accident? And so she begins investigating that. Why this book surprised me so much is it's a 3-book series, and throughout the whole, like all 3 books, you are following a love triangle. And I do not enjoy love triangles at all. And I gave book 1 and 2 3 stars. They were okay, but I wanted to keep going. What I loved about the series is we are following the same characters the whole way through. So we meet Serena in book 1, get to know her more, and again in book 2 and then book 3. And then it ends with a relationship, like she picks the guy in book 3. And because it's a love triangle, I really did not expect to enjoy it. But I really enjoyed kind of following this and the setting of Martha's Vineyard and figuring out and how the guys came and helped her and were cordial to one another. And I was really surprised at how much I enjoyed this book. Okay, then question number 6 is a new favorite author. Well, I've read a couple books. So I read this one by Amanda Cox, which was my first read by her. So she is an author that I definitely want to pick up more by her, but I have not yet. So she's kind of in the running for being, but because I've only read one. And so that's going to be Amy Lynn Green, because I read this book, and then I read Things We Didn't Say. The Things We Didn't Say? Yes. I don't have, this is the one, she has 3 books out, and it's the one I don't have because I read it on my Kindle. And so it's The Things We Didn't Say. And I really enjoyed that one as well. Like, this was definitely higher up for me because I gave this one 5 stars. I gave the other one 4 stars. But I really enjoyed it. And I have since picked up her 3rd book, which I think one of her earlier books. I'm not sure which order. I know this is the most recent release. So between the other 2, I don't know. So I also have The Lines Between Us to read at some point. So she is definitely an author that I would say is close to my favorite now, because I've read 2 and I already put her 3rd one. Like, I've already bought it. Okay, so question number 7 is your newest fictional crush. I don't have one. I don't crush on characters, and there's characters I really enjoy, and I really enjoy male characters. They are really my favorite characters in majority of books. But there's a bunch I really enjoy, so I'm not going to list them all here. Okay, then question number 8 is a book that made you cry. I was sobbing in the middle of this book. There's a particular scene that happens that I kind of expected it to be coming. I didn't know how it would happen, but I expected it. And when it actually happened, I could not stop crying. And I don't normally cry in books, so yeah. Okay, question number 9 is the worst book you've read so far. Bleachers by John Grisham. I did not like this book. It is completely focusing around a football player and reminiscing about football days, and not at all. Yeah. And I have another book that is probably very close to being the worst book as well. This one is definitely the bottom one, but the other one is Breach of Trust by Diane Mills. I could not get into this book. I struggled through this book. And I am learning a couple things that I really don't like in books. And one is football. Because in that book, one of the main characters is a high school football coach. And I don't care. I don't know anything about football. It doesn't need to be in books for my peace of mind. Okay. So number 10 is the most beautiful book you've acquired this year. Well, that's hard because I don't have a lot of like fancy special editions, so it's like, what covers do I really enjoy? So I'm gonna go with this one, Under Fire. This was a gift to me from my BFF, and her favorite color is purple, and I love this cover. I really do. And yeah. So this is what I'm gonna go with. Okay, so question number 11 is a book that is still on your 2023 TBR. Wow. This is going to lead into the goals check-in at the end, but I made a list of 24 books that I want to read this year, and it's 24 because of my bingo board, the way the board's set up. So, and yeah, we'll talk about goals in a minute. But I'm going to talk about the ones that are the highest on that list that are remaining. The first one is When Twilight Breaks by Sarah Sundin. And this one is on my July TBR, so it will be read this month. So I'm really looking forward to that one. Then we've got Starfish Pier by Irene Hannon. This is book number 6. Yes. This is book number 6 of the series, and I have recently just finished book number 4, so I still need to read number 5, but I will get to this one this year. Then we have Karen Whitmire, The Heart's Charge, and In Honor's Defense. This is the Hanger's Horseman series. There is a book 1 at Love's Command, but I have read that one, and I own that one on my Kindle. I do not have a physical copy, but it's the only one of the series I've read, so these two need to be read. Okay, so then we move into kind of the other questions that I'm just adding. So, your most read genre. Well, that by a landslide is romantic suspense with 37% of my books. My favorite genre, I'm not surprised, but even though it's my favorite genre last year, ended with it not being my top genre. So then the next question is my most read format. Well, for physical, I've read 37 books. On my Kindle, I've read 20 books. My most read format is physical. And Now let's talk goals. How are your bookish goals going? Well, it depends on which goal. So, my goal was to read 98 books. I am currently at 57 books if I do not count my audiobooks, which is where I don't want to count my audiobooks. Okay, so then my next goal is to read 24 books that are on my TBR bingo board. So at the end of June, I should have 12 books read. I have 11. So I'm not so far off on that one. Then my third goal was to read 24 books on my TBR rereads bingo board. I've read 8. So again, I should be at 12. I'm a little bit behind on that one. Okay, then goal number 4 was to read every day. Accomplished. I've done that. Goal number 5 was to participate in Chantel's Read Your Bookshelf Challenge. I have been doing that. I am up to date. I will be reading July book this month. Then goal number 6 is to participate in Oshina's Christian Romance Reading Challenge. Again, I have succeeded in keeping up with this one, and I will be reading July's book this month. Then goal number 7 was to read 12 advanced reader copies, 1 per month. Now, basically the purpose of this goal was so that I wasn't reading a lot of advanced reader copies, so I was kind of reading the books I own. Well, I mean, I've succeeded that I haven't read a lot. I have read 4 at this time out of the 7 I have. So I haven't read 6 is where we would be at the end of June, but I also don't have 6. So yeah, I'm doing okay with that one. Okay, then goal number 8 was to play 1 round of Katie's Read Around the World a-thon once per month. Done that one. If you follow my TBR game at all, you'll see that I start each game with 1 round from her game. Then goal number 9 was to aim to complete at least 18 letters in the alphabet challenge, which would give me 75%. So I don't know what the actual number is that I'm on that. Here's my sheet. I will be doing a reading journal flip through for the half year, so you'll see this a little bit closer. But what I've decided for the beginning of the year anyways, I might change it come November. I'm only writing down books that I've given 4 or 5 stars to fill in the alphabet. I have 14 books with like 14 letters filled. So 26 letters in the alphabet, 14. I'm over halfway. So I think I'm doing okay. And then goal number 10 was to stick to a book spending budget as per my reading reward system. And right now I am in a positive. I have not overspent, much better than what I this time last year. So yeah, so my goals are going pretty good. As I said, I will be doing a reading journal flip through, so look for that coming. It's very simple, very basic, but it works for me. And I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video today. And have you read any of these books? Or what was your favorite book so far this year? What book do I need to add to my list if I have not already added to my list? Let's chat in the comments below. Have a good day. Thank you. Bye.